everyone. Can you hear me well? In the middle? Okay, like this? Okay. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the first part of the conference day and you grabbed something for lunch. But now there is no time for your lunch break or lunch nap, as I would like to share some insights with you about how TUI.com managed to boost on-site sales with the help of personalization, and why it is worth the effort. It will be a talk about some use cases, and I also have some takeaways for you, and so I hope you can use them for your own work later. First, a few words about myself. I'm Christina. I work in the on-site sales department at TUI.com here in Berlin. I've been in this role for more than 5 years now. And before, I was working at a travel startup for a longer time, where I helped growing the startup. So basically, all my career long, I've been working in e-commerce and e-travel. So, yeah. So, my first question for you today is, because it's really what I'm interested in, how many of you do on-site personalization on your website? Please raise your hand. One, I see one, just one, two, a few. Okay, so great. So there will be a lot of knowledge, hopefully, for you in it. Let's go ahead. Just a short intro to TUI. I'm sure most of you know TUI, and I know that most of you probably just think of the somewhat old-fashioned package travel only. But TUI is much more than this. It's, first of all, the world's leading tourism group, and in Germany it's the biggest tour operator brand. But not just that, at TUI.com here in Berlin, we are responsible for the German-speaking market, and we sell, it's more like a marketplace now, so it's not just the package travel, it's also hotel rooms, flights, cars, and anything you need for your journey. So let's dive into our topic of today. You see our little tour bus over there. We still are, at TUI.com, we still are on the road to a fully personalized customer experience. We have quite big growth targets at TUI.com. For example, this financial year, it's 160%. So personalization is really a key lever to reach those goals. And we've been on this journey for when I started there, so 5 years ago, for the last 5 years. And when we started, we did it with the teasers that we were able to personalize with a tool that's quite well known. It's Tealium and Tealium Audience Stream. It's our major personalization tool. We will look into the details in a minute. I'm just going to explain the other parts. We introduced a chatbot, push notifications. We have personalized reviews. So a family sees different reviews than a couple on the website. Then my favorite is couponing and campaigns, personalized campaigns. I'm responsible for the couponing and personalized campaigns. So this is my key area, basically. And last but not least, we use a machine learning sort that we've built with our in-house data scientists. So the sort is for the hotel result page, where you see all the hotels, and it shows a different ranking, and we will look at that in a minute. Besides of the mentioned Tealium tool, we also use iAdvice and some other tools. And to a great extent, we have in-house built tools. But we will talk about that in a second. Let's have a look at how we build the audiences. We have different approaches. The first one are the behavior-based segments. Those are easy ones. It could be a single, couples, families. winter interested people, long haul interested people. For example, a family, we would define rules in our Tilium tool, and it would be as easy as anybody who's searching with at least one child is a family, or who has visited the family landing page, and so on. So those are quite easy ones. The people who qualify and follow the pattern that we defined get a so-called batch ID written in their local storage in their browser. And then whenever the personalization feature comes up, it will show the variation for the families. So it's a very practical one. That's what we use with the teasers that I mentioned on the last slide. A more sophisticated audience is based on a scoring model. To give you an example, we have couples are a very important target group, of course, for us. People traveling as a in-love couple, so to speak. When we would just use the behavior-based segments, it would be very simple. We would just target anybody who's searching with 2 adults for a vacation. But it's not that easy, actually, because two adults is our default setting. And that's why we use the scoring models. So the user earns and loses points depending on the behavior on the website. And then technically the same thing happens. The batch ID is written and the personalized version comes up. And a super interesting kind of audience is the predictive audiences. For that, we use Tilium Predict. It's an extra feature. And here we use the likelihood to book audience, for example, and user modes. And for user modes, I brought a case, and we will look at that in a second. There's still another way to create audiences, and that's a combination with CRM data. So any booking history combined with the behavior makes this whole thing really interesting. And of course, a user cannot just be in one target group, but he can be assigned to many, many audiences with which we can do a lot of crazy stuff. Okay, so now I pick one of the good audiences that are very successful at TUI.com. And this is the user mode. The circle you see is basically based on the fact that the users can be at different stages during their journey to make a booking. The explorers are the ones, like me, for example. I don't know where to go this summer. I have no idea. And we call those explorers people who are very open to anything, searching blogs, reading articles, and so on about travel. So they need inspiration, so to speak. The other ones are the researchers, people who have already decided or have maybe 1 or 2 destinations on their mind, and they are what they need is more information. They need regional data, maybe they need the water temperatures in October or things like this, so more information. And the hunters are the users who already have chosen where to go, and now they like to have prices, deals, offers, maybe coupons and stuff like this. So how is the selection taking place? We use the Tilium Predict tool, and it checks on the engagement of the users. So it could be, have they done a vacancy check, meaning have the users checked if the certain package is available? Then it means it's somebody who is already a researcher and deeper in the funnel. And by this, we are able to do the separation. And last but not least, This is especially interesting because we use a headless CMS to use for the landing pages, and it's called Contentful, and it makes it very easy for us to set up those landing pages. We will look at this, because we performed a user mode landing page test with them, which was interesting. On the left side, where it's a little brighter than on the right side, this is the old concept of our landing pages. You can see that, for example, this could be a package landing page. From there, the user jumps to, for example, family vacation landing page, clicking on teasers, finally gets to the result list, to the hotel detail page, and to the checkout. So the concept is jumping from one page to the next, while the new landing pages with the user modes, everything happens on the same page, besides the checkout. That doesn't happen, but all the information are personalized, and all the search criteria are personalized, and the offers. So for the researcher, for example, we would show different content on top. As I said, all the details would be on the very top. The hotel offers would be very down, and so we switch or delete some parts of the landing pages. For the hunters, it would be different. We would show the offers right on top, because that's the most critical thing. So this whole new landing page feels like actually like a travel advisor. It's all on this page, and it keeps reloading content. And the best advantage of it is that it saves a lot of time to create those landing pages. In former times, when we just used the personalized teasers, then it was really manual work. For each segment, you would have to create a different copy and a different text, and it was just very time-consuming, and basically the first thing you forget to do when there's a lot of stress. So now we just have to define one user mode, and the other user modes are created automatically by the headless CMS via Contentful. And this is very new, the concept that we use, and we are still doing our trials, but it's very promising, so I can suggest it, because especially if you look at the results of this test, we had the old version versus the new version, and then we separated the researchers and the hunters. So the click-through rate from this is the new page, from this page to the hotel page was 142% higher than on the old version. And for the hunters especially, because we had all the offers on top, they were very attracted by this new way of showing the information. And overall, also the bounce and the exit rate dropped. So very promising concept for us, and we will definitely keep doing those. Then now I have another case for you. It's much shorter. It's just to give you an idea what uplifts you can create with personalization. This is the hotel result list. You see the family version and the couple version. We don't have a one-to-one personalization on our pages yet. It's just that we have certain groups, as I said, families, couples, and then we differentiate between summer and winter, because the travel product works like this. And even though those are just basically a few differentiations in the list, we managed to get an overall conversion rate uplift of 5%, which is a lot, because it's the overall conversion rate, just by resorting the offers and showing the better fitting hotels to the target groups. So definitely very interesting. It's an AI machine learning algorithm that we used here, and we are lucky enough to have data scientists in our headquarter in Hanover. So we were able to use them to create this. And it's also very interesting to do this yourself because you get all the insights. But I know there are many tool providers here and they have really good concepts too. So it's definitely worth to do it. That's the most important thing. Then I have another one, and that's my topic because I work with coupons all the time. And what we did here is we used a fair propensity audience. It's also a Telium predict audience, and that works with an algorithm. So those are people, users that need an extra push to do the booking. They are interested, but they are not hunters yet. They are still waiting and they need the extra push. So what we did is we gave them a higher discount than all the others. The default version was 80 euros and the personalized version was 120 euros to that target group. And we have a special metric here. It's a coupon conversion rate. And we were seeing incredible uplifts of 250% for that target group. So my task is to do much more with the audiences and to personalize more because it's just really working so much better. And last but not least, this is the case I mentioned at the very beginning with the teasers, and we still do this. We use typo-free as a CMS. We've been using it for a long time. And 5 years ago, we implemented a plugin. I think it's available for anybody who uses it. And with this plugin, you can actually do all the personalized versions for the behavior-based segments. It's definitely worth doing it. It's on the downside, I must say, it's a lot of work. It's just really a lot of work to pick, for example, 3 to 5 audiences and to personalize, for example, a hero teaser. We call them a hero teaser. In this case, for last minute turkey. And for families, we would exchange the visual and the claim and sometimes the call to action. It is definitely worth it, but you need a lot of time to be able to roll this out. So, but still, I wanted to share this with you because also here the click-through rates are always higher. They are twice as high, or I mean, it's 100% higher. It's just really incredible, actually. So, to sum it up, all the personalization attempts we did always worked better. Really, I can't remember one single case where the personalized version didn't work. It's now our task to find the critical mass and of the components where we want to be able to do the personalization with. And the next challenge for TUI is to orchestrate all the different components in a good way. So we are still on our road, as I said. We have done a lot of things, but now we have to see that they all work very well together in order to give the best experience for the user. Yeah, and then I wanted to share some challenges with you that we encountered during all our experiences. First of all, keep in mind your product. Travel, for example, is different than selling t-shirts. We have only maybe 1 or 1.5 sales per user per year. People just buy one package travel, for example, a year, and some of them buy a hotel stay, but that's about it. But we have much more higher shopping baskets, and they take the time to decide is very long when you sell travel. So people need a lot of time, much more longer time to decide. And as I mentioned, the limiting factor is really time and people. Before the pandemic, we created a so-called cross-functional team for personalization, but we didn't have developers in it. We just had marketing people and analytics people in it. And I can just say we had a lot of things, good ideas came up, but in the end, you always need someone who does the developing work. So you really have to make sure the topic is really high prioritized, because it always battles with all the other topics that are out there in the company. And even though it's a key lever, it's still a fight to get everything through. So now we are at that point where we get priority for personalization because it's worth it, but you have to really be behind it and push it. The other thing is that you really should use as many as automated solutions that you can. The teasers that I showed you were so much manual work that they were really the first thing you wouldn't do when there's a lot of stress and lots of campaigns coming up. So it's much better to have automated teasers and automation that does the personalization for you. Because then you can invest your time in all the analytics and really keep looking at the numbers and keep analyzing the segments all the time. It's not just a one-time thing. You should invest in time and people who really dive into this in order to have a data-driven personalization. And what I showed you were A/B tests. So what we did is, or what we still do is, we test personalized versions against each other, and it's definitely worth doing it too. So I would say those are our challenges. And yeah, I just hope that I give you some inspiration to do it. I know you all have 1,000 topics on your mind, but it's definitely worth doing this. And last but not least, in case you have nothing to do at the moment, we have a lot of open positions at TUI at the moment. It's TUI in Berlin and in Hanover, but we have the option to work remotely. I can speak for myself. It's a very fair employer. You can get high travel discounts, for example. You can work flexible hours. And you can also work abroad if you like. You can take your laptop and be away for 6 weeks and just work from anywhere. It's fine. So if you like, you can look it up on the internet, or you can use this code and check for the jobs. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Christina. Are we allowed to apply and use the TUI trip?
Yes,
to do it at the same time? Brilliant. Okay, I actually have 2 questions for you, but I would love to give the mic for the first questions here for the audience. Any questions?
Do you have any example of personalization with CRM?
With the CRM data?
With the CRM data?
It's actually something we are about to do because we have a difficult setup with our login. So TUI used to be very big with the retailers and the travel agencies, and we always have to keep them all happy, so to speak. We have difficulties with the login, but we are now changing it, and then we are able to combine, to stitch the booking data with the behavioral data. But it's something we are working on right now. In fact, for the website, we weren't able to use this information, which is crazy, but it's a historical thing because it used to be a different environment, the login. So we will see what happens. Yeah.
Hi, Christina. I hope you can hear me well. First of all, thanks for the really inspiring presentation. I am just curious, do you merge any data from Facebook, Google Ads, on-site data to collect it to segment your audiences?
Yeah, we have a data hub where everything comes together because this was just the on-site part, but we have this customer data hub where everything is thrown in together, and then we can use this data as well. Yes.
Okay, and you do this in-house. You don't use any tool.
No, it's not an in-house solution.
Okay.
It's a tool we have, and it's based on the Telium as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, you mentioned earlier that you want to simplify the customer journey, having the different content displayed on one page. Why do you keep the checkout page separate?
It's definitely worth thinking about including this as well, but we go one step by one. That's an iteration. So it's the user mode thing is pretty new. We started doing this in the last year, and now we are working on rolling it out. And I could think of, including or getting the checkout page closer to it as well, so that the whole experience is not so widespread anymore. Does this answer your question?
Absolutely.
Kind of?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, if not, I'm gonna ask the last question. Do we have the promo code from Trip today?
Excuse me?
Do we have the promo code for the audience?
We always have a promo code.
So reach out to Christina after the presentation.
Yeah.
And thank you for the amazing presentation again.
You're welcome.
Let's give Christina a big applause.